He's a 3-time first-team All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler, finalist for the Hall of Fame as well, and he's brought to you by Choctaw Casino and Resorts. Use the code Woodson28 for up to 20% off your stay at Choctaw. And a good afternoon, Woody. It's so good to see you here.
Yeah, great to see you guys.
It's awesome seeing you.
I walked by you like 4 or 5 times.
You didn't say Brian brought us his favorite player of all time.
Favorite Cowboys
favorite player.
I've been with Reggie White. I've been with them all. That's my favorite player.
You've always given me that love, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
So, where should we start? What do you think of Christian Parker as the hire here for the Cowboys?
I think you know what? I like it. I'm a little excited about it because it's not the norm, right?
Yeah.
The norm is you go find a former head coach, and then you bring that former head coach in and put him as a defensive coordinator, and then you go all over again, right? I like the fact that you brought in someone you probably don't know that well. He's been on a successful team with the Philadelphia Eagles. And let's break the norms, man. Let's open up another little can and see what Christian Parker can bring. But I'm excited. He's a young guy, man, and I think there's got to be a different push of energy within this defensive staff here with the Cowboys. So I'm excited about it.
I tell you, when you talked about that vein on your neck looked like 635.
Yeah.
I mean, you were excited about that.
I'm excited about anything that says defense with the Cowboys.
Yes.
Like, anything defense, let's be intentional about it, and let's go. Like, offensively, they have weapons. We all know that. Like, they can move the ball down the field. They can hit you, low with Dak and the passing game and long strikes. But defensively is where there's been struggles where you can't get in. So the offense always has to be perfect because the defense can never get there. They can never allow you to make mistakes because they can't pick up the slack.
Woody, do you think that the Joneses hear what everything's being said about them?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, do you think it's one of those things where Jerry and them were kind of like, let's let Shoddy and them handle the coaching thing. We'll step back. Hopefully we can jump in with the money and stuff, all that. But do you really think it's the 30-year thing is getting to him?
I think so. I think Jerry is as much as, we look at Jerry and he's always optimistic. I think there's part that I know Jerry's one of the most competitive peer persons you will ever meet. And not just on the football field, but in business and all. And I've seen that side of him. So I know he wants to put a great product out there. And I hate the fact when I hear people say they don't care about, winning championships. They care about valuations and all that. No, I think Jerry wants to win championships, and that's why he does this. Now, have they gotten there? No. I think they put some teams out there that have had opportunities now. I mean, there was a time where Witten and DeMarcus Ware and Romo, and they had some shots. They put a good team out there. They just couldn't get the job done. But now it's, who cares about what's happened in the past? They have not gotten the job done. And it starts, and all the criticism, he'll be the first one to tell you, the criticism starts with him, and then it bleeds its way down. It's just how it works.
And the next guy down that rung is Shoddy. Do you believe in everything that he's got going on after 1 year?
I like what Shoddy's done. I like the energy that he's brought to the team. I know the players like Shoddy, but again, he's going to be measured by wins and losses. Period. And it's like the old Parcells deal. Like, you can love a guy, but you can love me, but if I can't play, then hey, so it is what it is. And I like what Shoddy's doing, but he has to win the games. He has to get into he has to win the NFC East. And set his goal: win the NFC East, win the NFC Championship game, win the Super Bowl. They have to get that job done. If not, you can say what you want to say. It's a failure.
Yeah.
This team has gone over 30 years in failure. They have to win a Super Bowl.
How much of a bonus is it on defense when you're taking a guy from the Fangio system? It seems like people want a guy from the Fangio system or the Brian Flores system right now. Yeah. How much does that stuff mean?
I don't know enough about it, to be honest with you, to have a legitimate conversation of, what system, Fangio or Flores system. I just know that there is a part of just watching them play week in and week out. They got to get better up front. They have to get better up front at the linebacker position, hands down. They just, you watch the two teams that are playing this weekend and watch what their attitudes look like, how they approach the game. They will punch you in the mouth. Like, they're going to bring, and you can tell they like to play.
Yeah.
Like, these guys actually like to play football, which is fun. It's fun to watch, and it's fun to watch a good defense like a Houston Texans defense where they keep you in the game. Regardless of what's happening on the offensive side of the ball, they keep you in the game. They find it. Seattle's the same, where they keep their team in the game at all times, and they have a chance to win in the fourth quarter. That's not what we're seeing with the Cowboys. The Cowboys organization is, if Dak's not having an A-plus game, then damn, they're going to lose that one.
Woody, I think we're seeing the safety position become a little bit more important in front offices around the league, where you see now the Kyle Hamiltons, the Brian Branch. When you look back at how you play.
Yeah, how about Darren Woodson? I think he started this.
Well, okay, so that's what
I think everybody just now catching up.
Do you look back, and maybe you were kind of a trailblazer when it comes to how you need a safety that can do everything?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Jimmy and Campo and, later on Zimmer saw that in me, from day one, is that I could play multiple positions. Now, I play multiple positions, then I had to run down on special teams, which a kick in the ass. Joe Avisano, rest in peace, was a guy who made me do that. But, yeah, I think when I watch games, I watch it from a defensive standpoint, and I usually gravitate towards that safety position. And like a Kyle Hamilton, you watch him play multiple positions. He's not just deep. He's short. He's covering the tight ends. Sometimes he'll cover the slot or a good running back out of the backfield. He'll blitz here and there. He's always a problem because you don't know where he's going to be, and you always got to account for him. And that's kind of how I played the game, and which was an advantage, because when they can use that guy, when they could use me in position where they don't have to bring in another corner and show their hand to say, okay, we're going to run nickel, here's our next corner, and he's in the, I may be blitzing, I may be covering the guy, I can do a little bit of all those things, and I think it just makes the game plan and the defense that much easier to move around and move the pieces around.
Drafted in 92. It was talked about as a team that's getting ready to take the next step, but it seemed a little bit premature. You guys had all the success that you did right there immediately for you. What was your experience, and what made that team ready when it was?
I think that when I came in on this team with the Cowboys in 92, they had I think they went 11-5 the year before and lost to the Detroit Lions in the playoffs. And I walked in the door, and they had a chip on their shoulder with, James Washington, Ken Norton, and they brought in Charles Haley, but then, Tony Tolbert. They're on that defensive side of the ball. They kind of had this chip on the shoulder because they knew that it was the Troy, Emmett, Mike show. But on the defensive side of the ball, they weren't getting a lot of recognition. So the practices were hard, man. I mean, it was. And Jimmy was hard on us. Jimmy was a lot nicer with the offensive side of the ball than he was the defensive side of the ball. Because the defensive side of the ball, not only did you line up and play defense, but Ken Norton was a guard on the punt team. Yeah. Like, we played both, man. It was a kick in the ass to get through practice because we were playing so much. You had so many reps during a game. And then, but that was the mentality. But the mentality were guys who just wanted to play. Like, I don't know if I see a lot of that anymore. There's a love for the game. There's like a pride, and in the off season, you don't take your ass back to New York City. You stay there and you work out and train with the guys within the program. Like, that was kind of who we were, and we competed at every level. Like, ping pong tables were crazy. We would go at each other on the ping pong. You know what I mean? It was the littlest competitions that we had, and you just kind of understood what your role was. And I was talking to someone earlier today, and they were talking about the pieces of the puzzle when you put a team together. Like, one of the guys that really kept that locker room together back then, two of the guys, of course, Darryl Johnson was phenomenal in the locker room. He was a tremendous leader. He wasn't a guy that got a lot of accolades. Emmett, broke the all-time league, but Darryl Johnson was there. But Darryl Johnson was there every day in the special teams meetings and made sure everyone else that was supposed to be in special teams had their ass in special teams meetings. Like, he held us to the fire. Like, it didn't matter defense, offense, it didn't matter who you were. He walked in the locker room and said, "Get your ass in the meeting." You know what I mean? There was something to that. And I don't know if that's the case in today's game or within that Cowboys locker room, but a guy like Kenny Gant, like the Shark, man, dude, he was awesome in the locker room. Yeah. I mean, awesome. Just positive, poured into you, gave you love when you did things right and kicked you in the ass when you didn't. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there was something about accountability back then, but the mindset was championship. And that's what I walked into was a championship mindset, and man, I learned from the best, man, and we just kept going for the next 3 or 4 years.
Okay, so yeah, when did that end?
It ended when Jimmy left. I saw it crumbling when Jimmy left, to be honest with you, because Jimmy held us to that standard where practices were hard and your job was on the line all the time and you were scared. Like, he ruled with a heavy hand, and if you weren't practicing well, he'd sit you down. He'd yell at you. He'd embarrass you. Something, man. It was just, he held you accountable for all those things. But when Jimmy left, it just got soft. Things loosened up a little bit. Guys weren't complaining anymore. They're like, yeah, man, God, dang, that was brutal. Going through with but we weren't the same team. The standard wasn't the same. We just had enough talent in 94 or 95 season to win the Super Bowl. But after that, it just fell off.
What was that 95 season like? I think I've heard Moose say somebody on staff came up to him and was like, what you guys did was amazing. Because you won a Super Bowl despite the coaching.
Oh, my God. I was so wore out at the end of that season. I'm telling you, we put 92, 93, 94 in the NFC Championship, and then 95, another Super Bowl champion. We had played so many games in that run, and 95, we weren't even close to being as good of a team as we were in 92 and 93. Like, if our 95 team played our 92, 93 team, we would have got our asses kicked, hands down. There's no way. We weren't even that close. So it was a struggle all season. We had a lot of turmoil inside the locker room. We just overcame things. We just found a way to overcome those things. And found our way in the Super Bowl. And once we got into, found our way into the playoffs. And once we got into the playoffs, it was kind of like, okay, we're here. Yeah. And we ain't afraid of anybody on this that's in here, and we're going to kick everybody's ass. And that's what we did. We kind of knew we were better than everybody, and then we got in the Super Bowl and beat the Steelers. But after that, I'm telling you, we fell off the cliff after that season.
Darren Woodson here with you on 105.3 The Fan. The code at Choctaw, Woodson 28 for up to 20% off your stay. They got good stuff going on up there as always.
Always. 9 years now. 9 years the part that I've had a relationship with the folks up at Choctaw. And for me, it's a 52-minute drive. It's right up 75 to Choctaw Casino Resort. If you're at the DFW airport, it's probably about a 90-minute drive. But tremendous resort, swimming pools. I take my family up there, friends up there all the time. I have a couple buddies of mine who always talk trash to me. And I'm gonna call them out. Micah Reese, Nick Capra, I'm inviting you up to Choctaw because you're always talking trash. But man, the venues, the concert venue is spectacular. The steakhouse, it's where the players play. Where you'll run into Troy Aikman or Emmett or Pudge Rodriguez. There's a lot of guys that are up there. A lot of my old former teammates and current teammates, or current guys that are players now. You run into them up there every once in a while, man. But just if you haven't been, Brian,
I go all the time because of you.
If you haven't been, it's spectacular. So I just want everybody can get up there.
Well, I want to salute you for having this great attitude through this Hall of Fame process. I know you're not going to let it get you down if you don't get in. I love that attitude. But what is your mindset going into tomorrow night?
Look, man, I'm grateful. I really am. I'm grateful to have the opportunity. I'm competitive, though, guys. I mean, I got to tell you. So if I get in, I'm God, man. It's family and friends and former teammates, and I'm hugging everybody. Right. If I don't get in, I'll be in the dumps for a couple of days, but I'll be all right. I'll bounce back. That's how it works.
Who would do the speech for you? Who would intro you?
Who would intro? You know what? I don't know. I don't know, man. Like I've always said. I've had a really stronger relationship with Charlotte Jones.
Okay, that's cool.
More than anybody. I really have. Cool. Charlotte Jones taught me how to how to get involved in the community, man. I really did. I mean, she just, her spirit and how she's attacked things in the community. So she might be the one. Like I would not hesitate.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, Brian was giving Mike Sando from the Athletic hell the other day about getting you in. So
we're
going to keep beating that drum.
I told him I'm with all these guys. I was with Leroy Butler. I was with you. I was with all these guys, and I said, every one of those guys is not as good as Darren Woodson. And he and I got in a discussion, and I think I said some things that kind of stuck with him. And I hope
brought us called him the B word and everything.
No,
it got intense, bro.
No, I didn't.
I'll say this though. I'll say this though. We were standing in the Phoenix airport one time. You and your wife, and we were all standing there, and I was so mad. And you go, Brian, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah.
And I was,
you're like, Brian.
He was calming me down.
Well, 5-11.
Yeah.
Woody still has him #1 defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That never dropped off when you were there.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Well, thanks, Woody. We'll see you up at Choctaw.
Man, love y'all.
There he goes, Darren
more.
Woodson, the great 28 here with you. And again, Woodson 28 is the code there on the Choctaw website, up to 20% off of your stay.